Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for your service. There's been a lot of talk in the Senate on changing Goldwater nickels. In fact, our Senate colleagues have started hearings on that. Now, from your perspective, I'm going to ask General Welsh and Secretary James this in particular, because one of the wild rumors that are now flying around is that SpaceCom is going to be moved, or NorthCom and SouthCom are going to be merged, or who knows what other rumors are out there. Is this proposed Senate process sufficiently transparent and deliberative? Those are two things I think are critical. Could you both comment on that, please?
I would begin, Congressman Lamborn, by simply saying that I'm not fully familiar with the full Senate process. I'm sure it is transparent and so on. But any law that's been around for 30-plus years, it probably makes sense to stand back and take a look at it. So I believe that was the spirit with which they have initiated this. And by the way, the Department of Defense is also reviewing some of these matters, and there are working groups and so on. So that would be my comment.
Sir, like the boss, I'm not familiar with the internal Senate process on this, so I really can't comment on that. We have been asked for our views and our inputs, which I think is wonderful. The one thing I would comment on about Goldwater nickels is sometimes we forget that it's been a raging success, in my view.
Excuse me?
It's been a raging success.
Okay.
Since 1986. The joint capabilities of this force are night and day compared to what they were in 1985, and all of us were serving back then. So I hope we don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. I don't think that will happen, but it's been 30 years. It's time to take a look and see how we make it better.
All right. Thank you both for your perspective. Now, General Miller, I'd like to shift to you. I want to turn to Secretary Carter's recent decision to open all specialties and units to women without exception. And I'm concerned about the very rapid implementation timeline that's been given to you. And to me, if it's a very quick timeline, I would be concerned that there is more politics involved than actually what is best for the warfighter. So I want to ask you about the timeline. If there's too quick of a timeline to implement, does that make it difficult to resolve all of the questions?
Well, Congressman, I don't think we're on that. We're on a timeline for a decision. The Secretary said by 1 April he would tell us, he would accept our implementation plans, which he's done. So we had been building in parallel an implementation plan because we did not ask for an exception for all ground combat elements, but now they're all open. So we're going through the process like the other services to find out what the propensity to enlist is. We've developed standards for men and women in the pool to go in these MOSs. We've got standards that when they're in recruit training that they have to meet in order to go on to the MOS school. We've got MOS-specific standards at the school that all Marines have to go through to earn the MOS. And then if and when female Marines pass, which I'm sure they will, we have a plan to successfully put them into these units so that they can contribute, and then we can continue on with mission effectiveness. So there's three lenses we look at this at the end: the mission effectiveness of the unit, the health and welfare of the force, and the overall best use of talent or the human capital that we have. So we're going to go through this process. Our recruiters are out there now to see if there's any indications that there's a propensity to do these particular MOSs, and we'll put people through school. So how long is that going to take? I have no idea, but I think we've got a plan. I think we're prepared to go forward on this, and we'll continue to track it. I think it's going to take all of us, but I think more so the Army and the Marine Corps. I'm not going to speak for General Milley, but I think we're going to collect the data on this, and so we'll see how this all plays out over the next 5 to 10 years before we really have a good idea of how it's worked out.
Well, I just hope that the needs of the warfighter are first and foremost, and rushing too quickly, to me, might compromise that. I would hate to see that compromise.
I don't personally feel under any pressure, and I don't think the force does, because we want every Marine to be successful, and this is about mission effectiveness and effectiveness of the force.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.